the June, I don't know what the date is and I don't know where my phone is, it's not important. Hello and welcome to a new reading vlog. First off, we're gonna ignore the fact that I kind of look like a mess. It's late, but it is Monday night. I just finished Crown of Midnight by Sarah J. Maas just now. And oh my god, so much happened. And honestly, I was aware of most of the things that happened before I ever read this book. One, from just absorbing sort of the general ideas from this series, like the fact that fae are involved, like over the years, because I feel like I'm one of the last people to have read this series, or at least have started it. It was still so incredible and so well written and just so intense to read. And I love Selena so much. Is her first instinct when anything goes wrong to kill people? Yes. Is that right? Probably not. But she's just so incredible anyway, and I really love her. And I will say though, I was super frustrated with her in this book because of how she was treating Kale, because they had a perfect like 3 chapters. Things were great for like 3 chapters, and look, I get that they are not the couple that is going to end up together in this series. I get it. I did a lot of Googling to figure that out and asked people on Instagram to just tell me what happens because I was too impatient to read all 8 books first. And I get that and I'm okay with that because now I really see why they're not going to work, because there's just too much bad blood between them at this point. But I do think they're going to be friends for the rest of their lives if they live through this series. But I just was so frustrated with how they were fighting and why they were fighting. Like, if anything bad happens in Selena's life at this point, she blames it on other people. Up to this point, everything bad in her life has been someone else's fault. I get that. But she has a lot of growing to do, and I really started to see it in the very last couple chapters that she realizes what she needs to do and how she needs to grow and grow up, really. She's had to do a lot of growing up. She's an assassin. I think that the character development that's going to happen from here on out is going to be incredible, and I'm very excited to see that. I currently have the 3rd book waiting in my mailbox, and I'm very excited to start it. I'm also torn, and I think this second option is going to win. I really want to reread A Court of Thorns and Roses, the 3 books, and maybe the 4th one, because I haven't read the 4th one yet. She just announced the Nesta and Cassian story. Nessa, it's not important. I really want to reread them. I miss Feyre and Rhys, and I'm just living for Sarah J. Maas's writing right now, and I'm just gonna read Sarah J. Maas books from here on out. There's enough of them. I think I'm gonna go start A Court of Thorns and Roses like tonight, and because those are rereads, I feel like they'll go a little faster. Like, my goal is to read all 3 of them this week. Also, one other thing, actually, I love Dorian now too. Through the first book, I wasn't sure even by the end if I trusted him, but now he's got some things going on, and I really like it, and I like him, and I think he's going to be a major player in this world when all of this stuff goes to hell, because there's no way this all ends well. Just saying. I also finished an audiobook today. I finished Intuitive Eating. I really enjoyed it. It was a nonfiction book about the theory of intuitive eating, which is sort of acknowledging your biological hunger cues and knowing when you're full based on like those biological cues as well. And I just learned a lot. They talked about eating disorders and diet culture, which, you know, diet culture sucks. And I had just been getting into a lot of like registered dietitians on TikTok and learning a lot, and I asked like I commented on a couple. I'm like, oh, what resources do you recommend, like what books? And everyone said this, and I listened to it and I really enjoyed it. I learned a lot. I definitely think it'll be years and years before I can ever fully adapt that mentality into my brain, because I mean the last 22 years, whether it was knowingly or not, we're just kind of force-fed this idea of diet culture, and I'm trying really hard to unlearn that. But I think reading Intuitive Eating, I really learned a lot, so I'm excited to try and implement that into my life. It was a really interesting read. I don't read a lot of nonfiction, but I am very glad I picked this one up. So yeah, I'm also reading Royal Holiday by Jasmine Gilroy. I'm like halfway. It's okay. I honestly could barely tell you what it's about. I don't love it, but I'm halfway already, so I'm gonna finish it, and I want to like read this whole series. I'll give you my final thoughts when I have thoughts. I don't have any now. I really love her first 3 books. This one's just, I don't think, gonna be for me. For now, I am going to go start A Court of Thorns and Roses tonight and probably go to bed in a little bit, and I will update you tomorrow when I'm reading more of that, because I think that's all I'm gonna do tomorrow. Hello, it is Wednesday morning-ish, it's almost noon, and I have a few reading updates to give you. I have finished Royal Holiday by Jasmine Gilroy, which I think I'm saying wrong. I liked it. It wasn't as good as her other books, and I think I just had a hard time connecting with the characters because they were so much older than me. Like, I already can sometimes have a hard time in adult romances because they're usually like in their 30s and I'm 22, so like it's just harder to relate. But her being even older was just kind of difficult. That being said, I really did enjoy the character. I think she was a very interesting woman, and she actually, even within the story, grew a lot. Even though she's, you know, a grown woman, she learned a lot through the story, so I really did like that. And I liked that it took place at Christmas. I gave it like a 3 out of 5 stars. It wasn't bad, just not my favorite of Jasmine's books so far. And then I picked up Oopsy Daisy by Iris Moreland. It was just a random book I found on the library, and it was only like 5.5-hour audiobook, so I was like, oh, I'll just listen to it. I loved that one. So it was about Katie. She met this guy in Ireland, and she had a one-night stand with him and ends up getting pregnant. So if you're not like a big into like the pregnant romance, then you probably wouldn't like this one, but I really loved it. I thought it was super fun and just really heartfelt and interesting. But anyway, she meets him, and that happens, and then she comes back to the States and she's going to start her grad program. And she quickly finds out that the advisor grad program is the guy she met in Ireland, and that, you know, there's some problems with that situation. And it was just really funny, really heartfelt, and I actually really enjoyed it. It's actually the 3rd book in the Flower Shop Sister series, so I might go back and pick up the other 2 because I really liked this author's writing. And then this morning I finished A Court of Thorns and Roses by Sarah J. Maas. I had such a fun time rereading this. It's been 4 years since I read it the first time, so I'm gonna be honest, I don't remember anything. There was like 2 scenes I remembered from this book, and it was when Tamlin originally came and got her and brought her to the fairy world, and then I remembered how this one ended, but I didn't exactly remember the circumstances. I'm realizing, like, I remembered what happens to her, but I didn't realize that Tamlin is still gonna be playing a part in A Court of Mist and Fury. Like, I know he's still a character, but I didn't realize that Feyre was still with him by the end of this book, and I'm having a hard time even remembering, why do I hate Tamlin so much? Like, I know he must do something that's gonna make me hate him, because I know I hate him and I love Rhys, and that's not gonna change. But like, I can't remember why I hate him. Like, what happens? I don't know. So I'm gonna start A Court of Mist and Fury today. I'm very excited to continue on with this series. I've just been in such a reading mood lately, and I've actually been getting reading done. Did my June wrap up on my Instagram, and I read 17 books in June. I don't know if I have ever read that many books in 1 month, and I'm really happy about it, and I just want to keep reading all day, which is my plans today. I'm gonna work out now and then just read A Court of Mist and Fury all day. That one's a pretty long book. I don't think I can finish it in 1 day, but I'm hoping maybe by tomorrow night I'll be done. Like, I'll read half today, half tomorrow. We'll see. That kind of seems ambitious. That thing's like 600 pages long or something. My next audiobook is Neanderthal Seeks Human by Penny Reed. At first, the title was a little off-putting. Like, I'm not sure if I want to read this, but the synopsis looks really good. It looks like a hate-to-love romance. I haven't started it yet, so I don't really know anything about it. And then after that, I am joining the Christmas in Julyathon, but I am going to pick up 25 Days Till Christmas by Poppy Alexander for the book I meant to read last year prompt, because I did mean to read that at Christmas last year and I didn't get to it. And then Chasing Christmas Eve by Jill Shalvis is going to be my book with Christmas in the title prompt. And then Moonlight Over Manhattan by Sarah Morgan is going to be my book with a blue cover prompt. And lastly, Hold Me Cowboy by Maisie Yates is going to be my Cowboy Christmas prompt. I have all the audiobooks on the library app, and I am so excited to start all of these. I'll read those 4 after I read the Penny Reed book, and I'm so excited. I haven't read a lot of Christmas books. I've read a handful, but I'm very excited to start those. I am a very big Christmas person, so I celebrate Christmas like all year round. I literally watched Home Alone last week and Arthur Christmas twice, so it's Christmas in July now. So that was a really long update, but I am going to go work out, and I'll update you later when I have read more of A Court, Mist and Fury. Hello, an update. It is Friday morning. I ended up finishing A Court of Mist and Fury last night at like 2 a.m., which is so far past my bedtime, but like I just started reading and then I couldn't stop. So like I said with my update after ACOTAR, I still don't fully understand. Well, I do. That's a lie. Like, it took a lot for me to remember why I hated Tamlin so much. The last few chapters really reminded me why I hate him so much, but the first, like, 90% of the book, I'm like, he did one bad thing and, like, didn't treat her well. I get that. Like, I don't think Feyre should be with Tamlin, but I was like, why does everyone hate Tamlin so much? I can't remember. But the last scene with the cauldron, I remembered why we hate Tamlin so much. That was rough. This was a really fun reread because I remembered nothing from this book other than chapter 55, which just as graphic as last time. This book is not young adult. It's not. I know Sarah J Maas, like Throne of Glass in this series, gets shelved in young adult or teen. It's not. It's just straight up not. I'm not saying a teen can't read this book, but like, it's adult fantasy. I think I'm just gonna, in the future, refer to this as adult fantasy. I'm just saying. Chapter 55 is literally a scene out of 50 Shades of Grey. Like, if you took some of the writing out of 50 Shades of Grey and compared it to this one, they're similar. I'm just saying. So I remember chapter 55 because how could you forget that? And then I remembered bits and pieces of the last, like, finale part of the book with the cauldron. I forgot Tamlin was there, and when he showed up I was like, oh shit, that's why this is not gonna go well. But this was so fun to reread. I don't remember anything that happens in ACOTAR, so that's gonna be fun. ACOTAR's a little shorter and I don't remember loving it as much as this one, but I think because this one you just get to explore the night court so much, and I just love the idea of the night court, and I wish I could magically transport myself there and live there. I think I would really love it. I think it'd be great. If I was like in the inner circle just hanging out with all these people, I'd be thriving. So yeah, this was a really fun reread. I read it in 3 days. I will pick up ACOTAR today. I'm excited, and then I probably am going to switch to Throne of Glass after I finish ACOTAR, and then when I have to order the 4th Throne of Glass, I will read A Court of Frost and Starlight and Frost. I don't know what it's called, but the little novella. I haven't read that one yet, so that one will be fun to experience. As for my audiobook, I am 4 hours in. I like it. I don't love it. Part of me is even thinking about DNFing, but also I want to see where the romance goes. I just don't love the main character. She is, I don't know, she's just really oblivious. I'm like, girl, open your eyes, pay attention. But I'm also curious to learn more about the love interest, Quinn. It's okay. I think I like this author's writing, but I'm not loving these characters. She has this weird aversion and hatred to cell phones, and I'm just sick of hearing her talk about it. It's so annoying, and I don't get it. She's like, she talks about how she doesn't want to be connected to the phone and blah blah blah, and I was like, girl, no one cares. And it makes me wonder, I'm like, does the author really hate cell phones or something? Because I don't get it. I just don't get it. If I didn't have a cell phone, I wouldn't be listening to her book, would I? So anyway, that is my little update. I will probably read more of this today and then start a little bit of ACOTAR, but it's also Hamilton Day. It came out on Netflix, or on Disney Plus, same thing, and I'm very excited to watch that. I will update you later when I have more. I really want to finish this, but I will update you later. I really want to start the Christmas book soon, so this is just all Sarah J Maas and Christmas books, this vlog, I'm pretty sure. update. It is July 4th now. A couple things. One, I watched Hamilton last night and it was so good. It was so good. I literally feel like I'm still like all puffy from how much crying I did. I literally sobbed through all of Act 2. It was so incredible to watch it come to life on stage that like I've listened to the album literally probably more times than I've listened to any other album except for maybe Taylor Swift. Why are the dogs barking? I don't know. But it was just so good to watch. I absolutely loved it and I'm just blown away by it. It was so good. As for an actual reading update, I just finished Neanderthal Seeks Human by Penny Reed. I didn't like it. I wanted to, and I liked the idea of it. Like the setup of these characters, I was like, this could, you know, go somewhere. But the chemistry just wasn't really there. And Janie was the main character. I didn't really like her. Like I said, she had this weird thing with cell phones, which I just found really annoying. And then just in general, she was just so blind to the world around her, which sometimes is like, makes sense in a character, but she was just annoying about it. And I don't know, I didn't like it. The guy main character, Quinn, I actually really liked him. I think he was an interesting character, but he just didn't really work with Janie. Like I didn't really see the chemistry there. And then there was this weird like subplot that I think Quinn used to be some sort of like criminal hacker, like Penelope Garcia from Criminal Minds, that sort of vibe. I don't really understand it. He had these other criminals coming after him and there was like a fight scene with guns or something in their apartment and like I didn't understand it. Janie's sister was part of it and she was evil and crazy and it was just dumb. It was just dumb. I didn't like it. I think maybe I'd give it like a 2 out of 5 stars because despite all that, like the actual writing style of Penny Reed, I didn't mind. I think she wrote well. I just didn't think she built the characters well, if that makes any sense. I still wouldn't mind giving some of Penny Reed's other books a try, but that one was a miss for me. Now I am picking up my first book for the Christmas in Julyathon, which I am so excited about. I'm just going to read for a little bit longer today. Since it is July 4th, we're not really doing anything. I also have a video to edit. But I am starting Hold Me Cowboy by Maisie Yates. This is a Harlequin Desire book. I don't think I've read many Harlequin publishing books, but I have shelved enough of them in my lifetime to be familiar with them. Maisie Yates is a pretty popular author, and I've never read anything by her, but when I posted this as part of my Christmas in Julyathon TBR, one of the hosts for this readathon said she really loves this book, so I'm excited. And the fact that it's part of the Harlequin Desire means it's like a steamier romance. I've never read a cowboy romance, and I'm not sure, I don't think the cowboy part is really going to be what appeals to me, but I think the characters are already pretty interesting. This is about a girl, Maddie. She is supposed to be meeting this guy up at a cabin for a weekend, and her plan, she's like, I'm just going to be with him this weekend and we're never going to see each other again. It's going to be fine. Because it is just around Christmas time, there is a huge snowstorm and her power goes out and he can't make it up to the cabin because the roads are closed. And so she goes to her neighbor's house. It is this guy she has known, I think, for a good amount of her life. He's from the same town she is. I can't remember his name already because I'm only like 30 minutes in. And she was like, my power's out, like, can you just help me turn it on? Or she just ends up, I think, staying at his place is what is just happened for the night until she can get out of town. And I assume things are gonna get interesting between them. They both are attracted to each other, but they also both kind of hate each other, so this is gonna be fun. I'm excited. I think it'll be a fun little read. It's a really short audiobook. It is only 4 hours long, or like 4.5 hours, so I might try and finish it today because on double time that's only a little over 2 hours, but I also do need to edit that video, and we're like doing like a pizza night tonight, so we'll see. I'm very excited. I just love Christmas and I just want it to be Christmas time and all that magic, so I'm gonna go listen to this for a little bit and I will update you later. Hello, a reading update. It is Monday the 6th now, and I did not read at all this weekend, which I'm really upset about, but I'm gonna try and get some more reading done this week. Go ahead and ignore my cat. She's meowing for attention. I did finish my audiobook. I finished Hold Me Cowboy by Maisie Yates. I'd say it was like a 4 stars. I really enjoyed the characters and I really enjoyed her writing. I'll definitely be checking out some more of her books. I just thought it was a really short book, which I think was kind of the point. It's like almost a novella, not really. It was like 200 pages, so I just felt like the characters could have been more developed. That's not at fault of the writing so much as just the length of the book, but I did really enjoy it. It wasn't as Christmassy as I wanted it to be. Like, Christmas was a very small part in the story, but I did like the characters, and they had really interesting backgrounds and like stories, so I really did like that. The main character, she was in an affair with her writing coach when she was 17, and the whole town sort of turned against her instead of the guy, even though he was like 40, which is disgusting, and he probably should have like gotten lawful punishment, but he didn't. They all adored him, and she kind of got ostracized from her community, which really sucked and was super traumatic for her, and it took her 10 plus years to really work through that. And when she meets him in this story, she is able to actually confess some of this and like discuss what it really meant for her and what it did to her, and I really liked those discussions. He also had a sort of traumatic past. That one's more of a spoiler because it's not in the description, so I won't say. Both stories were really interesting and compelling, and when they came together as a couple and discussed all of this, it was a really good story. I now have picked up Moonlight Over Manhattan by Sarah Morgan, and I'm only 3 hours in out of 10, but I'm really loving it. I looked it up, and Sarah Morgan, when I looked it up, I realized she used to be a nurse, because I looked it up because one of the characters is a doctor, and the medical stuff he's describing is so accurate. I'm like, does she have experience in the medical field? Because like, it's detailed and it's accurate, and I don't see that very often in books, especially like these little rom-coms. Like, I have read books where the characters were doctors before, and they just kind of say vaguely medical sounding things, but this was like, he was describing the heart attack, or he was describing how she rolled her ankle and all this stuff, and I was like, this is all like accurate information. So either she does really good research, or she was in the medical field, and she actually used to be a nurse. So I will definitely be picking up more of Sarah Morgan's books in the future if she's gonna have more medical characters like this who actually know what they're talking about, because I'm loving it. But other than that, the book is super cute so far. I will say, if you are a big dog person, you'll probably love this book in particular. The main character is a dog walker. That is her business, and how the main character and the doctor character, I can't remember their names right now, meet. One is she goes in with a broken, or like a suspected broken ankle, and he's the ER doc, and the other thing is she's helping him take care of his sister's dog while his sister is out of town. And there's a lot of a discussion of how to treat the dog, blah blah blah, be a good pet owner. I am not a dog person, but I think it's a cute, like meet cute kind of thing, so I am really enjoying it. I will probably finish that within the next couple days and then be moving on to my next Christmas and Julyathon read. As for my physical read, I have A Court of Wings and Ruin. I am on page 20, 25. I am not far at all, but I would like to maybe read like 100 pages in this day. I wanted to finish this weekend so badly. I just got in a weird mindset and didn't feel like reading, which I'm very sad about, but I'm hoping I will finish this by like Wednesday, and then I'll be able to move on to the Air of Fire book, because I'm still loving the Sarah J. Maas books right now. I just got in a weird mood and wasn't in the mood to physically read, but I'm hoping to get maybe 100 pages read today. We shall see. But I will go ahead and close this update out right now and update you later. Hello, e-reading update. It is Thursday now. I'm only about 260 pages into A Court of Wings and Ruin. I'm really upset I did not finish this like as fast as I wanted to. I've just been trying to get back into a reading mood the last couple days. I think last night I was doing pretty well. I could have gotten even farther, but I was so tired that I didn't read as long as I wanted to. I don't think I'll be able to finish today because I have like over 400 pages left, I think. But I do want to get another good chunk of it done. A Court of Wings and Ruin, one, I don't remember anything from this book. I don't remember what happens, don't remember how it ends. Like, I don't know anything about this book. Nothing so far is really like triggering in my mind. any memories of what happens. So I will say it's definitely not as exciting as A Court in Mist and Fury. Like, there's been stuff happening, developing with the war, and Feyre sort of weaving lies into the Spring Court and coming back to the Night Court, all that, but like, not a lot has happened, and I don't want to say it's boring, but it's not as exciting and as like, I can't put this book down as A Court of Mist and Fury. That being said, I mean, I am only 260 pages into a 700-page book, but like, let's step on it, let something happen. I will keep reading, hopefully finish by tomorrow night. Like, if I read a couple hundred pages today, a couple hundred pages tomorrow, I don't know, but that is my goal. As for my audiobooks for Christmas in Julyathon, I just finished Moonlight over Manhattan by Sarah Morgan. I'm definitely going to give it 5 stars. I absolutely adored the story. I loved the characters, and I loved the story and the medical accurateness, which is a small niche thing to care about, but I thought it was really great. The Christmas was sort of just like subtly weaved throughout the story, then at the end it really played more of a part, so it wasn't like super overwhelmingly festive, but it definitely had little elements and I really liked it, and I am definitely going to be picking up more books by Sarah Morgan in the future. My next Christmas in Julyathon I'm going to pick up is Chasing Christmas Eve by Jill Shalvis. I know nothing about this book, nothing about this author. It came up on the library app when I was looking for books with Christmas in the title, so I'm going to start that one either today or tomorrow, and I will update you later with any thoughts on these books. I also got a microphone for my camera. It is not on right now, so you're not getting the benefits of having a microphone, if there are any benefits. I haven't figured them out yet. I realized I need batteries for it, and I don't have any, so. But anyways, I will go ahead and update you on my reading later. Hello, an update. It is very late Friday night, which is also why I look a mess, and I didn't wash my hair after the pool, so I'm just a disaster. But I thought I would do a sort of reading update while I do my skincare routine tonight. I am going to start with I washed my face, but the azelaic acid suspension from The Ordinary, because I haven't done this one in a couple days. For my reading update, I am 2 hours into Chasing Christmas Eve by Jill Shalvis, and I already am really loving it. I like Jill's writing a lot so far. She seems to be a really funny writer. The main girl, she is from New York, and she recently has become a really famous writer under a pseudonym, and it's just a lot of pressure. She's under this pressure to have her book done by deadline, but she just has like really bad writer's block, so she freaks out and says she's taking a vacation. She literally goes to the airport and just chooses a flight, and she ends up in San Francisco where she meets the love interest. He is some sort of tech whiz. I don't understand what he does so far, but I think he's making drones to like bring medicine to underdeveloped countries, to these people who don't have access to healthcare, I think. That was the quadruple hyaluronic acid serum, 5% by Naturium. That is Susan Yara's new brand. As soon as she announced that she had a brand, I ordered stuff because I love her, so it was so exciting that she finally has her own brand. This is the Clinique All About Eyes under eye moisturizer. Not a necessary step by any means, but I'm trying to use up this under eye moisturizer. I'm loving that Christmas read. It's interesting. I think they're going to be a very interesting dynamic because they both seem to be like quite smart, driven people, and they both have secrets, and eventually those are going to come out, and I think it's going to be really good. Bree from Falling for Books on Instagram, she was just saying today on her Instagram that Jill Shalvis is like one of her favorite go-to authors, so I'm even more excited, to be honest. I'm going to go with a heavier moisturizer tonight. I'm going to use the Clinique Smart Night moisturizer. It's like a heavier cream one with A Court of Wings and Ruin. I had every intention of finishing that today. I definitely could have, but every time I swear that I sit down to read and I just want to read for hours on end, someone wants to do something else in the house, and so we always end up doing something else, and I can't always like say no as much as I want to. I just want to read all day. All day. That's all I want. I did not get to read very much today. I think I've only read like 60 pages, and my goal was to read the 400 pages I had left, because I think I could have done that, but I didn't. So I'm gonna read a little bit more now, but it's like past 7 o'clock and I'm really tired already from being out in the sun today. In Akawar, I'm on about page 350, 360, I'm not sure. This is the Rosehip Oil by The Ordinary. It is the best product they make, and if you were to ever for some reason listen to one of my skincare recommendations, this one. I mean, if you have oily skin, maybe not, but like my skin's on the dry side, so it is literally so amazing. Akawar is interesting. Lucian is really starting to grow on me. I used to just not really care either way about him. I talked to someone today on Bookstagram who said Lucian was the only character they liked. I'm like, what a specific character to like so much, but I'm starting to like him a little bit more. I love Azriel. Actually, what's interesting with this one, I feel like big things have happened in this. I'm almost halfway through. Big events have happened. None of them have like really fazed me for some reason. Like nothing has seemed important to me. I don't know why. I don't know if that even really makes sense. I feel like nothing's happened, even though lots of things have happened in the book. But what keeps me going is I genuinely love all of these characters, like the whole cast of characters in the inner circle. I just love them all, and I think that really is Sarah J. Maas's strong point, is she just really knows how to not only build individual characters, but to build them together, like as a family. I really, really love how she writes that. I'm enjoying the read overall. I don't know how this book ends, like at all. I do not remember where this goes. I don't know what happens, so this will be fun. I obviously am not going to finish tonight. It's 11 and I have like 350 pages left. Not gonna happen for me. This was the O'Keeffe's lip repair. It's lip balm, it doesn't matter. That is my reading update for now. I will go ahead and update you tomorrow, and hopefully when I am finishing A Court of Wings and Ruin. By the way, I did finally figure out the microphone on my camera. I have it on right now, but I'm also talking really quietly. So if this clip has sounded different, that is why. If they sound exactly the same as before, it was a really cheap microphone on Amazon. I don't know what to tell you. I'm going to play around with it, maybe read the instruction manual, but probably not. And hopefully I'll be able to improve the sound that way. I don't really know how any of this works. I'm just winging it, so... Update from very late Saturday night, but I have just finally finished A Court of Wings and Ruin, and I don't even know where to start. It was so good. It was such a fun reread. I genuinely did not remember a single thing that happened in this book. It was like I was reading it for the first time. I didn't remember anything about the battle at the end, so it was really fun to reread that. Stressful at times, for sure. A couple takeaway thoughts. My first and pretty much my only complaint sort of about this book in particular, but also kind of just these first 3 books in general, is this one did not have to be 700 pages. A Court of Mist and Fury didn't have to be 600 pages. Like, they just did not need to be that long. There are a lot of scenes that I think could have been edited down in this one. Like, there was just stuff that wasn't necessary in here. I think it could have been like 100 pages less at least. But not to say I didn't still enjoy it, it's a really long book. The other thing, which is more geared toward like the whole series, this would have, I think, really benefited from a multi-point of view storytelling. Exactly how like the Mortal Instruments does its narrating. It splits between Clary and Simon and Jace and Isabel. Just getting to see all those different character perspectives, I think, could have been really interesting in this book. I want to see things from Lucian's perspective, like when he was going to go try and find the queen. What happened? Like, all we get is like a couple sentences to explain what happened, but like I want to know what really went on that journey, how he feels about the bond with Elaine, and how that's left at the end of this so unanswered still at this point. I want to see Nesta's point of view and her struggling with what she is now and the idea of her and Cassian, and I want to see more in how she every day is trying to find a balance between being friends with Cassian and Az, but also pushing them away and not telling anyone who she really is, which, oh my god, that scene I love more so much. And I want to see Cassian and Az's point of views and just really get to dive deeper into who they are and get to fill in these little gaps instead of everything being from Feyre's point of view with, like, what, 3 chapters from Rhys's point of view. I just think I could have loved this story on a whole other level if we had gotten that. That being said, I think she's going to go on to develop this world in a much greater way, because there's so much left unanswered at the end of this one. There is the 4th one, A Court of Frost and Starlight, which I plan on starting next, and she is coming out with the new one about Nesta and Cassian specifically, which I'm so excited for. I cannot even put into words. Nesta, I think she might be my favorite character. I love them all, but like, Nesta, I think it reacts to the situations that she's put into exactly how I would, so I really, really loved her. I would really like to just see this world developed even more across a bunch of spin-off books. I want to see more about Elaine, and Lucian is who I am rooting for, but we'll see. And I would really like to see Hellion's backstory. He's the High Lord of the Day Court. I just think there's a lot to unfold there and like learn about him, because one, I think the Day Court would just be a cool setting, and I also just want to hear more about his background with his interactions with the Autumn Court and get more answers to that. So there's definitely so much for this world to be explored and developed, and I will be here for it, whatever Sarah J. Maas decides to do. So that was a really fun reread. I am just gonna go ahead and close out this vlog. I hope you enjoyed it. I upload reading vlogs twice a month and do some other booktube videos as well on this channel, so I hope you subscribe, like, and share this video, and I will see you guys next time.